So I had a dream the other day where I saw this major shift change. I saw like all kind of people like switching careers and just switching all kind of stuff. And what I didn't say in my video was I also saw people switching pets. I just forgot to say that part. So I'm sitting here eating with my daughter, and I said something to her, and she was like, yeah, I saw it. She was talking about what I saw, and I was like, when did you see it? She said, oh, I had a dream. You said you had the dream last night, right?
Yeah.
Last night, and didn't even tell me the dream. So I went and got my phone to start recording it, but she had started telling me some of the things that she saw, and she saw from the point where in my dream, and I'll put my dream in the description box for those that haven't seen it, because you need to see that first, because I'm not going to go over all the stuff that I saw, because she saw different stuff from me. And so anyway, there was a part where me and her got separated, and then her dream started off from that point. So now, I'll let her tell you.
So I had this dream, but it wasn't the timeline like my mom's. It was just the part where we lost each other. And so I didn't feel her on my shoulders. And I saw her in the distance, so I was guessing it was her. And so I walked over, and then she just disappeared. So then I looked back, and then I walked around a little bit, and then I finally found my mom. And our cat was just walking right by her, and she was looking all around. But she didn't look down at all, so I guess she didn't see the cat. Did you see him?
No, in my dream I didn't see the cat.
Oh. Well, that's weird. And then, so what I saw these people walking around, and the scenery was just white, and the people's personalities were switching. Like there was a box on the top left side of their head, and it showed their personalities. Well, it didn't say personalities, it said attributes, and then it had all the personalities, and they were switching like crazy. Like 5 or 6 of them, and it depends on the person to say if they were 5 or 6, because some people had 5, some people had 4, some people had 6.
And you're talking about attributes, right?
Yeah,
okay.
And it was never above 6 or below 4. So, yeah. And then their hairstyles were changing, their eye color was changing, and so was my mom's, and so was our cat. So our eye color was changing, our outfits were changing, and our hairstyles were changing. And then also...
Was our attributes changing?
No. And some people's weren't changing.
Okay, some people's attributes weren't changing. Okay. So, what else did you see?
And sometimes when they were walking around, they'd appear somewhere else, and then they just walk the same direction, like time was going backwards, and then again, and then over and over again, and each time it was going backwards, everything about them was changing. Well, then maybe not everything, but most things about them were changing. Their outfits, even their style in clothes was changing.
Wow, I will say honestly, I saw that too. Like even people's style was changing. Like the things that they normally would like to do was changed. I did see that in my dream.
It's not like the opposite, like what they love to do, they hate it now, but it's like what they love to do, they don't even think about it anymore. They just think about some random thing, and that's apparently their new favorite color, I guess.
Okay.
And even animals were changing.
Really? Talk about that. How was the animals changing?
They were like turning into white. They were turning white. Not like an Arctic fox, just like completely white, like no face. They had faces, like they had the same texture, but their entire body was just white, like paper white.
after they change white and everything like that, that they change back to looking like animals?
Yeah.
Okay.
They would just turn white every time, like they were resetting, but they'd turn into the same thing.
Okay.
Mm.
So were the animals changing? Because like I said, in my dream, I even saw people.
The types of animals? Yeah. No, they weren't changing.
The types of animals wasn't changing, but I'm talking about was the locations changing? Like if animal locations
I didn't see locations. I said all the background was just white.
Okay, in my dream, I saw even the locations of animals changing. Like even people's pets was changing. And let me ask you this. Did people seem to know the changes was taking place?
Some people were like, every time it ended, but then it reset.
Some people were like what? You didn't finish.
They would make a confused face at someone else, like...
Say stuff, because nobody can see you. Explain.
I don't know how to explain a face. It was like disgusted mixed with confused with utterly confused.
So some people you saw noticed the changes. Okay, that's what I saw too.
They noticed it after a little bit, but then it'd like beep. It wouldn't beep, but it would like turn white really quick, and then they'd act normal.
Okay, in my
like
dream,
it was resetting to the point where it knows.
They notice it. Okay.
Like one person knows, nope, reset. But not like completely reset, just resetting to the point. It's not like resetting, it's just wiping things. Like wiping things out.
Okay, so let me ask you this. In my dream, me and you knew the changes had taken place. And I was shown very few people knew the changes was taking place. So in your dream, did you see that me and you knew the changes taking place?
Yeah.
We knew.
But we were acting normal about it. Just, we were looking at some people and being like,
oh, wow.
We know that person.
That's
they
exactly
were not like
how my
that.
dream was.
Like, you used to be my neighbor and now you're a pop star?
Exactly.
What happened?
Exactly.
What choice in your life did you make to become a pop star?
My dream was exactly the same. Me and you both, we were just looking like at all the changes like, wow, like look at this. This person's career's changed. This has changed. So we noticed, but in my dream, I was shown extremely few people compared to the population of the world. It was an infinitesimal amount of people who knew
some people were
changes.
Standing out.
Right. They were standing out in your dream?
Like, I saw 2 other people.
And how was they standing out, though? How was you showing them standing out?
They were just, like, holding hands. And I could tell they were a couple. Just because I could tell.
And they knew all the changes, too?
Mm-hmm. And they were looking at us for a second. But then they looked away.
Exactly. That's how my dream was. Like, I didn't see the other people. It's hard to explain. Like, okay.
You just knew they were there.
Well, it's more than that. Okay, let me explain. Like, I knew that very few people could see it, but when things were switching up like that, I saw them like as a blur. So I didn't really see them, but I saw like a blur, and I had an instant knowing. I said, those people know the changes, but it was very few people.
And also, I could focus up on things. Like, if I looked at a certain person long enough, it'd zoom in on them.
Closer. And you could see things about them. Like, if you zoomed in, you could just see things about them?
No, like, everyone else disappeared. Everyone else disappeared. It was just them.
It would be just them when you zoomed in. Okay. And so, what about super abilities? Did you see anything like that?
No.
So in my dream, I neglected to say this as well. I had a knowing that different saints was getting super abilities. I did say that part, but this is the part that I neglected to say. And I prayed to God for the opportunity to say this. But I also had a knowing that even there was wicked people who got abilities as well. And I neglected to say that in my recording. And then God even reminded me after I did the video. He was telling me, like, even you saw some wicked people getting abilities too. And that could explain why CERN wants this switch. They want to, keep switching things and messing up the world because they want to get something out of it. Anything else you want to ask, Guy? I know, you guys, this is probably going over some people's heads. It's hard to believe. I'll put videos in the description box that I've done about this in the past. Please see those, binge watch those videos, put them on speed if you have to, and it'll help to better understand what on earth I'm talking about, you know. But I can say this, we are at the end of the world. We are at the end of the world. And just like when Jesus came, they really thought they had it all figured out. They got everything. They know what he's going to do when the Messiah comes. They got it all figured out. They was not thinking that he was going to be casting out devils. They wasn't thinking he was going to be healing the sick. They wasn't thinking he was going to, you know, live and die for our sins. And they definitely weren't thinking he was going to rise again from the dead, or bring other people from the dead for that matter. So, you know, it was a shock to them. And they was really walking around like, what is he? Is he, you know, is he satanic? Or, you know, it's sad because he was God. And it's the same thing. It's nothing new under the sun. Many people think that they have these end days completely figured out. They know exactly what's going to happen. But I'm telling you, these end days are not going to be conventional. And I don't understand everything. You know, God is still teaching me all this stuff. But this is just mind-blowing, because it really helped me to understand my dreams that he's given me in the past about the shift change. And I'll put those videos in the description box as well, and you can see, you know, many things that God has already shown me, but this is helping make sense of everything. Anyway, I love you all. Bye.